Hello, everyone, and welcome to my Dragon Ball Super Episode 88 review. The title of this episode is Gohan and Piccolo Teacher and Pupil Clash in Max Training. Gohan and Piccolo engage in intense training. Piccolo explains that Goku has already informed him about the potential destruction of the universe and that he is going to participate in the Tournament of Power. He points out that Gohan's overeagerness to protect his loved ones is making him reckless. The two continue to spar. Meanwhile, Kaba heads to the residence of his retired captain and mentor Renzo. Kaba asks him to join Universe 6 team for the Tournament of Power, but Renzo refuses due to an injury to his leg. He suggests his sister Caulifla instead, who he claims is even stronger than him. Back on Earth, Piccolo explains that Gohan has a tendency to become arrogant when he has the advantage in battle. He removes his weighted training clothes to go all out, and Gohan manages to reach the mystic form, or should I say the ultimate form he used against Super Buu. The two fight again, and Gohan successfully severs Piccolo's arm. However, Piccolo blasts him in the back with the severed arm, defeating him and proving Piccolo's point about Gohan's overconfidence. That night, Piccolo vows to push Gohan to new heights of power, and the two agree to work on combination moves. Okay, I rate this episode a 7 out of 10. I like it a lot, but it didn't meet my expectation. The episode was pretty good and entertaining until Gohan's unlocking his ultimate form. Wasn't that mesmerizing? Now let me break it down to you the things I like and the things that I didn't like. So, first things first is Piccolo being badass in this episode. As a huge fan of Piccolo, I am very quite happy how he was handled in this episode, and the reason why I love this badass Namekian guy so much. He was a very strict, training Gohan to unlock his ultimate form, and I'm kind of glad that Piccolo uses his clever strategic plans and how he tries to acknowledge Gohan's flaws in his character. Piccolo wants Gohan to make sure that he wins every battle by not letting his guard down at all times. The fighting choreograph wasn't that spectacular, but there are several moments where I was caught off guard, like when Piccolo and Gohan were having a stare down contest while boosting up their auras. Then finally they clashes with each other, creating a big explosion around them. Now that was tight and it was phenomenal. Then Piccolo has this power coming from his fingers, and at first I thought he was going to perform a Makan Kosapo or a special beam cannon, but then again I wonder why it's green. It's supposed to be yellowish, and then Piccolo unleashes it and throws it at Gohan. Gohan manages to avoid the attack, and it literally sliced the platform and split it into half. Now, I was amazed seeing that one. Also, I'd like to add was how Piccolo got so strong facing Gohan. That really made sense for me. And then the second part I want to mention is the Vegeta changes Bulla's underwear. Okay, I have to admit that this moment was really cute. I smiled when Bula changed her mood from, a crying baby to a charming sweet princess. Aw, that's so nice. I was wondering who Bulma was talking to on the phone. Also, the scene where Whis and Beerus had their moments was also funny. And then the third one would be 18 and Krillin having a sparring match with each other. Of course, 18 won the fight, but she knew that Krillin wasn't serious with that match. I think it was a nice touch that we got to see them sparring together, and kind of added this tone to the episode itself. And then the fourth one would be Kaba and the introduction of Renzo and Caulifla. This is an interesting segment Toy added. Kaba transforming into a Super Saiyan kinda bothered me because he turned Super Saiyan inside Renzo's house, and it seems that the ground wasn't shaking or the room didn't have any mess at all. Like, the typical when Saiyans do perform this Super Saiyan, it's supposed to be like, the earth, the ground is shaking, and then these pieces of little rocks starts to float in midair or something like that. So yeah, that really bothered me. Why nothing happened during during Kaba's Super Saiyan transformation, that is. So yeah, I find that very odd. And for Caulifla, she looks very different in the Limit Break opening, like an innocent damsel in distress. But in this episode, she seems to be more barbaric female punk to look at. And finally, everybody loves this one, is nothing but the nostalgia trip. We get to see the dinosaur from the Saiyan arc, Gohan and Piccolo doing extensive training, and having a bonfire together, which I find that pretty nice and awesome. Now, now we're done with the good things about this episode. Let me um, enumerate the bad and disappointing scenes. Now, first are the Dragon Ball Kai footage. I just can't stand old Dragon Ball footage borrowed in Super. It just felt out of place for me. I know I've mentioned this a lot of times in some of my episode review, but yeah, it's just isn't my cup of tea. And then second, Yamcha's character being treated poorly. It makes me feel sad to see Yamcha being treated like a useless character in this entire arc. I know it may be a funny segment to most people, but for me, I had enough of this joke. I mean, we've seen the same thing during Bula's first appearance in episode 83. It could have been better if they just scrapped the scenery. We don't need to see this again. And finally, well, it's Gohan unlocking Ultimate slash Mystic form. Okay, this is supposedly the highlight of this episode. And I was disappointed watching this. Well, not really disappointed, but only that how they managed to execute it. The way they handled the execution of his ultimate form does not add the excitement at all for me. If I wanted to make it like the best highlight of this episode, in a hypothetical outlook, right after Piccolo's ability to stretch both of his arms, called the Mystic Attack, and then begins to grapple Gohan's neck and arm, he shoots him right on his stomach using a Ki Blast, and then Piccolo basically should not go easy on him. So Piccolo starts gauging up his power at its maximum and fires Gohan with a light grenade, just like in the Imperfect Cell arc. Then Gohan, who is already in bad shape, realizes that his life is in danger. That's where Gohan finally unlocks the ultimate form and miraculously deflects Piccolo's light grenade into the sky and explodes outside the Earth's atmosphere. Now that would have been an amazing moment in this episode if Toy could have come up a much better writing procedure that would made this episode a much more memorable and spectacular one. And so there you have it, guys. Overall, I enjoyed this episode, but I think it could have been better. The animation was good, the pacing was alright, and of course, I almost forgot. The music they chose during, you know, Piccolo and Gohan's sparring scene. I love that music they added there. So yeah, definitely Gohan fans are going to rejoice watching this. If you like my take on this review, then hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe if you want to hear more reviews, and let me know your thoughts on this episode by leaving a feedback on the comment section below. This is your boy Thunder Trunks. Have a good one.